Andy Henriquez here, and I want to welcome you to the Thursday night show for your life motivational live stream. This is where you come each and every Thursday. Let me tell you something. I got a message for you. Listen, if you have been feeling frustrated at all during your journey of trying to make something happen, and you just can't figure out why things aren't working for you or aren't working out quite right now, I tell you, I got a message for you, and so you definitely want to stick around. And so, of course, I want to welcome you to the Thursday night show for your life motivational live stream. Thank you for tuning in, and we're going to be getting started just momentarily. I'm about to go live also on Facebook. So, of course, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Hey, what's going on, family? What is going on? Andy Henriquez here. Of course, I want to welcome you to the Thursday night show for your life motivational live stream. Hey, do me a favor as you're jumping on and joining me for tonight's live stream. Go ahead and put in your city and your state so I could go ahead and give you a quick shout out. Listen, this message is for you. If you've been feeling any level of frustration at whatever level you are right now, you've been feeling some frustration. Maybe you're in the process of trying to grow a business. You're in the process of making a transition from your career to your dream. Maybe right now you're in the process of just trying to level up and get to that next level and you're feeling a little frustrated. This message is for you. And so I've got the answer to your problems. If you've been experiencing some frustration, I'm going to share something with you that might throw you off a little bit, but I believe you me, this is exactly what you need to help you to go ahead and level up and get to that next level. And so let me go ahead and say what's up to a couple people. We got Houston, Texas in the house. All right. Fantastic. We got New York in the house. What's going on, New York? Good to see you guys tuning in. And of course, as the rest of you are jumping in, go ahead and put in your city and your state so I can give you a shout out. We got Virginia's in the house. How you doing? Hey, Sheila, how you doing? Good to see you. I want to thank you guys for tuning in and joining me for a Thursday night show for your life motivational live stream. Hey, listen, so let me just tell you what I'm going to be talking about tonight. You know, if you've been experiencing any level of frustration, and I believe we all go through seasons of frustration where we're trying to get to that next level, we're trying to make things happen, and we can't quite figure out why things aren't happening at the speed that we thought they were going to happen, or we can't quite figure out why we're not having the level of success that we want to have. And so a lot of times it leads to frustration. You feel like you're spinning your wheels. You're feeling as if you're not producing the results that you want to produce. And I've got an answer for you that is probably not what you expect to hear. But I'm telling you, it's going to make so much sense, and it might just be the thing that you need to get to the next level. And so I'm going to tell you right now, you are in the right place. So before we go ahead and get started, if you know that there's somebody that you know that you're connected to that would benefit from hearing a message, somebody that you know that is really all about trying to get to the next level, somebody that you know with big dreams. I mean big dreams, not little dreams, but big dreams. Somebody that you know that's trying to make amazing things happen. This is the message that they need to listen to. And so you want to go ahead right now and make sure you go ahead and share this message. So, of course, I want to give a quick shout out. We got Houston, Texas in the house. We got New York in the house. We got Virginia in the house. We got Maryland in the house. And of course, I want to thank all of you for tuning in. Tonight's message is called Go Higher. And so sometimes I believe that so many of us, we're operating at a level that is below the level that we should really be operating at. And that's part of the reason why we're experiencing the frustration that we're experiencing. And so sometimes you believe that when you start experiencing frustration and things aren't working out the way that you want them to, sometimes you believe that the answer is to slow down. The answer is to downshift. The answer is to reduce the size of your dreams. The answer is to turn away from that thing that you're trying to make happen. But I'm going to tell you, oftentimes the answer is actually quite opposite of what you thought it was. A lot of times you really need to level up. In other words, you need to go higher. And so let me tell you what sort of triggered this for me. And I want to share this with you real quick. It's so crazy. So my wife and I got married a couple of years back, and we had one of our friends who unfortunately couldn't make it to our wedding. And him and his wife were so nice. One day, my wife and I, we came home and we got this nice, really, really pretty envelope. When we opened up the envelope, our friend sent us a private airplane tour. So we're like, wow, they must have went all out. Like, so they sent me and my wife a private airplane tour. We had to go to a private airport to go and get this private airplane tour. So we called our friends up right away. We're like, thank you so much. That's so nice of y'all. You guys are amazing. So my wife and I, we jump into my truck and we head out to this private airport. And we're so super excited because we're like, this is going to be amazing. This is going to be romantic. And what an amazing experience. And boy, we're just thinking, how much money did our friends pay to just be able to get this thing for us? And so we're very, very grateful. And so we pull up at this private airport. We get out the car. We're holding hands. We're newlyweds. We're all like super excited. We can't wait to go on this private airplane tour. And as soon as we walk into the office, as soon as we walk in and we're like super excited, we're like, hey, what's going on? We're the newlyweds, we're the Henriquez. We're ready for our private airplane tour. As soon as we walk in, the first thing the lady goes, okay, well, yeah, just a second. We need you to go ahead and sign off these forms. And so we start reading through the disclosure forms, and it's talking about in the event that you die, crash, burn, dismemberment, you will not be holding us liable. But me and my wife were like, hey, it's cool. You know, this is part of the process, you know, no problem here. We'll just go ahead and sign this off. We'll sign off on this. This is part of the process. So we see this gentleman who's standing in the back. He's got like this whitish, you know, a person, let's just say he looks like somebody that has a lot of wisdom. All right. His hair is all white. Probably looks like he's been flying airplanes for like 30 years, 40 years. And I point out to my wife, look, that's our pilot right there. Like this guy looks like he's been flying airplanes like before you and I were born. And so he comes from around the counter and we're like, hey, how you doing? You must be our pilot. And then he sort of starts chuckling and he goes, no, actually, I'm not your pilot. And he says, that's your pilot over there. Now, when we follow his finger, like the guy he's pointing at looks like he just got his driver's license. The guy he's pointing at looks like he's 18 years old. So me and my wife are like, wait a second. This is like getting more and more complicated. So first of all, we show up here and, you know, we're expecting that this is going to be an easy process. They make us sign this crazy disclosure and we feel like we're signing our lives away. Then we see this guy who looks like he's been flying airplanes for like 30, 40, 50 years. And he ends up telling us he's not our pilot, and he points us to another guy who looks like he just got his pilot's license, looked like he just got his driver's license. But me and my wife were like, oh, we're going to be cool, no problem, no big deal. And so we follow the pilot outside, and we see this really, really nice white airplane, blue pinstripe, really, really cool. Looks like it's like a brand new airplane. And I'm like telling my wife, wow, look at that airplane. It's so nice. That's got to be our airplane. And so the guy walks over by the airplane and we're like, hey, this must be our airplane. And he goes, yeah, that's really nice, isn't it? I said, yeah, it's really, really nice. So this is our plane, right? He goes, no, that's not our plane. And then he keeps walking down. Now, listen, this is what the crazy thing is. As he's walking down, I promise you, the planes are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Not only are they getting smaller and smaller and smaller, but the planes that he's walking by are getting older and older and older. And so sure enough, the smallest and oldest plane out there, he points at it and he's like, that's the airplane. So now me and my wife are like, whoa, wait a second. Like, do we still want to do this? This is not what we had in mind. Like, first of all, like everything is not going the way that we anticipated. Like, first of all, we show up here, we got signed this disclaimer. Then we think this guy's going to be our pilot. He's not our pilot. He points us to this little young old pilot. We walk out here, we see this really nice airplane. We find out that's not our airplane. We keep walking down. We go to the smallest and oldest airplane out there. So now me and my wife are like, should we even bother getting on this airplane? And we're like, you know what? We're going to just trust the process. We're going to get on this airplane. So we get in the airplane. And of course, you know, I'm a gentleman. So I tell my wife, ladies first. So I let my wife into the airplane. She gets in the airplane. And then I get into the airplane. And then the pilot gets into the airplane. But the crazy thing is, when the pilot gets in the airplane, he actually leaves the door open. And I'm looking, I'm like, why is this guy, why has he left the door open? And I'm like, okay, he's going to shut the door. And then so finally, like, we've been sitting there for a little while and we haven't taken off yet. But when I see we've been sitting there for about 3-4 minutes and the guy hasn't shut the door, I'm like, excuse me, Mr. Pilot Man, why is the door open? And do you plan on shutting the door? Like, do you need me to shut the door? And this is what he said. I promise you, this is what he said. He said, no. He said, while we're sitting here, it's going to get really, really warm in the aircraft. So I'm leaving the door open so that it can cool off in here. But he said, don't worry. As we're taking off, I'm going to reach over and shut the door. And I'm like, what? He said, as we're taking off, I'm going to reach over and shut the door. And I'm thinking to myself like, oh my goodness. Now all of a sudden, my wife is being super quiet, right? My wife has like nothing to say. And all of a sudden, I'm sitting in the aircraft and I feel my whole left arm is getting like super numb. And I'm like, man, I feel like I'm losing the circulation in my arm. Now I'm trying to figure out why I'm losing the circulation in my arm. I look over at my wife and literally her eyes are closed. She's squeezing my hand and she's like praying as if she is certain that we're about to die. So my wife is over there, eyes shut. She's completely praying. She's thinking we're going to die. I'm sitting in this really small aircraft that looks like it's super old, smaller than my truck that we pulled up in. The pilot has the door open and he's trying to convince me that as we pull up, he's going to shut the door. And I'm convinced now that we're going to die too. So I do the only thing that a strong, courageous man would do. I join my wife in prayer. So my eyes are shut and we're both praying, right? And so the crazy thing is we finally take off. And sure enough, the pilot reaches over, he shuts the door. And when he shuts the door, my eyes are like practically closed right now. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then this is the part that I was not ready for. When he shuts the door, I'm talking about crazy turbulence. I'm talking about the kind of turbulence where your heart goes from your chest to your throat, back down to your chest, back to your throat, back to your chest, to your throat. And I am convinced right now that we are newlyweds and we are going to die. Like we are straight up going to die. And so me and my wife were like, oh my goodness, this is not happening. First of all, why did we get in this little aircraft? Why did we even come here? We should have known better. We're about to die. This little plane is getting tossed up and down, tossed up and down. And so we're holding each other's hands. We're like in prayer. We're like thinking we're going to die. And then what's so crazy, we're about 15 minutes into the flight. And then out of nowhere, there's no more turbulence. We're 15 minutes into the flight. And then now all of a sudden, we're just sailing, cruising in the sky. And me and my wife, we finally build up courage and we're like, open up our eyes and we finally are looking out the window. And now we're looking out the aircraft and we're seeing nothing but the most beautiful views. I mean, the beautiful skyline. We're looking at the intercoastal line of South Florida. We're flying over Fort Lauderdale Beach, flying over Miami Beach. We fly over the Florida Keys and we fly over the Miami Seaquarium and we can see the whales in the water. And we make another turn and we can look at this beautiful, beautiful ocean, blue ocean, and it turns into the most amazing scenery yet. And so finally, when we're at that level and I'm finally able to relax and I'm actually believing that we're going to start surviving this flight, I look over at the pilot and I'm thinking to myself, wait a second, what just happened here? Like I thought we were going to die. Like we were experiencing the worst turbulence that you could ever imagine. And I asked the pilot, I said, what happened? What changed? And he said, well, we were experiencing turbulence because we were flying at a certain level. But he said, as long as we were willing to go even higher, because of the fact that I was able to bring the aircraft even higher, we are now flying above the turbulence. And because we're flying above the turbulence, all the commotion and all the discomfort that you were feeling at the last level, you're not feeling it now because we're at a higher altitude. In other words, we're flying above the turbulence. And so here's what I want you to understand, that sometimes you're experiencing all this turbulence in your life. Sometimes you're feeling all this frustration and you're saying, I'm not getting the clients that I want. I'm not getting the relationships that I want. I'm dealing with a lot of negativity. I'm dealing with a lot of friction. I'm not producing the things that I want to produce in my business. I'm not producing the things that I want to produce in my relationship, in my finances. And what I'm saying to you is that contrary to what you think, instead of you coming down lower, instead of you reducing the size of your dreams, instead of you reducing the size of your goal, instead of you deciding that you're going to play it smaller, what you actually need to do is you need to go higher. Do you hear me? You need to rise above the turbulence, because oftentimes the reason why you're feeling all this frustration, the reason why you're feeling all of this chaos is because perhaps you're operating at a level that you shouldn't be operating at. In other words, you were built for more. You were built to be at a higher level. You were built to cruise at a higher altitude. And so maybe perhaps this position that you're in that's frustrating you, that there's a bigger and higher position for you. Maybe perhaps that this relationship that you're in, that you're frustrating you, that you need to be in a greater, more fulfilling relationship. Maybe perhaps this this season that you're in your business, the reason why you're experiencing this frustration is because that you need to level up. You need to go ahead and be at a higher level. You need to go ahead and increase and expand your vision, expand your goals, expand the people that you're surrounding yourself with. And so in other words, you need to go higher. And so that's the thing that I want you to understand. Do me a favor right now. In the comment section, put hashtag go higher, hashtag go higher. So I want you to think about whatever it is that you're working on right now, that you're experiencing some turbulence, that you're experiencing some frustration. And I'm going to challenge you to go higher. I'm going to challenge you to increase your vision. I'm going to challenge you to increase your goals. I'm going to challenge you to level up. I'm going to challenge you to figure out what you can do that's going to take you to your next level. So instead of you reducing your vision, instead of you reducing your goals, instead of you reducing the things that you have in mind, instead of you shrinking the things that you want to make happen, I'm going to challenge you to go higher. I'm going to challenge you to level up, because oftentimes the reason why you're experiencing the turbulence that you're experiencing, the reason why you're experiencing the frustration that you're experiencing is because you are operating at a level that you were never designed to operate at. You are in a level right now that you were never, ever designed to be operating at. Like this level that you're at right now, it wasn't designed for you. You were designed for so much more. And so I want you right now to understand that this is your season. This is your time to go higher. And so what it means is that whatever goals and expectations you have in your business, I want you to increase those things tenfold. Whatever frustration you're experiencing in your relationship, I want you to create bigger and more lofty goals in your relationship, in your finances, in your health, everything that you have right now. Any area in your life where you're feeling discomfort, any area in your life where you're feeling dissatisfaction, instead of you shrinking, because that's what we normally do when we're experiencing dissatisfaction. Normally when we're experiencing discomfort, when we're experiencing dissatisfaction, you know what we do? We begin to shrink. We begin to reduce our expectations. We bring down our goals. We bring down the things that we want to make happen. But here's what I want you to understand. You actually have to do quite the opposite. And so instead of you reducing your goals, reducing your vision, reducing your sphere of influence, what I'm telling you is that this is the time for you to go higher. And so that pilot had to get me to understand that the reason why we were experiencing all that turbulence in that little airplane, the reason why we were being tossed around back and forth is because we were flying at an altitude that we had no business staying at that altitude. That aircraft was designed to be flying at a higher level. And so I want you to understand your business is designed to be flying at a higher level. Your career is designed to be flying at a high level. Your goals, your dreams, your vision is designed to be at a higher level. And as long as you take a big dream, a big vision, and a big goal, and you're trying to operate a big goal, a big dream, and a big vision at a low altitude, you're going to experience some turbulence. You're going to experience some frustration because your big dream, your big goal, your big vision that you have for yourself was never supposed to be operating at this level. It was never supposed to be operating at this level. And that is why you're experiencing the frustration. And so that means this is the time for you to go higher. This is the time for you to level up. Now, here's what I come to realize. That part of the reasons why we don't go higher, part of the reason why we don't level up is because we don't expose ourselves to the next level. And so I'm telling you right now, wherever it is that you want to go, wherever it is that you want to be, I want you to find a way to expose yourself to your next level. You know, one of the things that one of my buddies used to do, I got one of my buddies, he taught me the real estate game. So I've got rental properties and I started investing in real estate back in December of 2004, I started investing in real estate. So I've got various rental properties. I've bought and fixed homes and so forth. But I have a buddy of mine, he played in the NFL for 8 years, and he's the one that really taught me the real estate game. But I tell you this, one of the things I really used to appreciate about him, he would come pick me up sometimes on the weekends. He'd be like, hey, man, what are you doing? I said, hey, I'm at a property. He said, man, I just want you to break away from that property for a moment. He said, I want to show you something. And he would come pick me up. And then we would get in the car and he would take me into communities. Now, mind you, I was buying homes that were in the inner city. I was buying homes that were on average about 1,200 square feet. I was buying homes that were in in what many people would consider to be fairly rough areas. But what he always wanted to do was he always wanted to expand my vision. And so he would come pick me up, and then we would go and look at multi-million-dollar homes. We would go look at homes. I just left a home that was only 1,200 square feet that I had bought and I was renting out. And then he would pick me up and we would go look at homes that were like 20,000 square feet, 30,000 square feet. Then we would go look at homes that were ocean access. Then we would go look at homes that were $10 million, $12 million homes. And the reason why he would always make sure that we go out and we look at those things, because he always wanted to expand our vision and not allow ourselves to shrink based off of the environment that we were in. And so here's what I want you to understand. A lot of times you need to expose yourself to your next level before you get there. Because listen carefully, before you will ever be it, you've got to be able to see it. I'm going to say that again. Before you will ever be it, you've got to be able to see it. And so what I want you to understand is that before you get to your next level, oftentimes you need to be exposed to what that next level is going to look like. And I tell you, I just came back from San Diego. I had the opportunity to speak to the Direct Selling Association. I was able to do a workshop, a storytelling workshop there, and I was able to do a keynote for the CEOs for various direct selling companies. But being in that environment just took me back full circle. And let me tell you where it took me back. It took me back to when I was still working in corporate America. And I had a friend of mine named Erica who gave me a call. And she said, Andy, I want you to take a look at a business opportunity. And she invited me to go to a business opportunity meeting. And I went to a business opportunity meeting. And to be honest with you, I really only went to the meeting just so I could tell my friend Erica I went to the meeting, and so that she would stop calling me and keep telling me about this business opportunity. Well, needless to say, I went to the meeting and I sat in the back and I just went expecting to say no. But as I sat through the meeting, the more that I was listening to what they were saying about the company, the services, and the compensation plan, the next thing you know, I was fully enrolled and I had actually signed up and I became a distributor in this direct selling company. And then I remember the very first time that they were having a conference that I was attending. And this was my first time going to a conference where the conference was going to be held in an arena. I mean, this conference was being held in an arena, like a basketball arena that was enough to fit like 50,000 people. And here we are, we're sitting in this arena and there's thousands, tens of thousands of people in this arena. It was my first time being in that environment. And I'm seeing people who are fired up, excited. I mean, just so super, super excited about life, excited about the possibilities, excited about their businesses. And it was my first time being in that environment. But this is what did it for me. This is what was the game changer for me. When they called the speakers out on the stage, and one by one, I saw the speakers coming out on the stage, and the speakers were sharing their story, and they were sharing things. And I remember when the first speaker came out on stage, it's like everything shut down for me. I started leaning in on my chair. I lost myself in that moment, and I just became mesmerized. And I was watching how the people were responding to the speaker and how the speaker was creating change and completely changing the environment. And I remember just being so inspired. But what I remember was specifically making the decision and saying to myself, oh my gosh, like one day I want to be that guy who's in the front of the room. One day I want to be the guy on stage. One day I want to be able to touch and inspire people's lives. And at that time, it was just a dream. It was just a vision. I had no idea how it was going to happen. Like, you probably have something that you've wanted to do at some point, and you had no idea how it's going to happen. Maybe you wanted to write the book. You wanted to start a business. You wanted to do a career change. You wanted to pivot. You wanted to do a change or something you wanted to do. And when you did it, you had no idea as to how you were going to do it. But I tell you what was so crazy. Here's what was crazy for me. What I didn't realize was that I was being exposed to what was going to happen in my life. Now, I didn't know that when I was sitting there at that time, and that was what, probably 2004, I didn't know that that was going to become reality for me 13 years later. Like, I didn't know it was going to be 13 years later before that became my reality. But what I didn't realize was that I was being exposed to my next level. And so what I want you to understand is I would have never been able to have that dream and that vision for myself to be speaking for a direct selling company. And that would eventually happen for the first time for me 5 years ago, when I was a keynote speaker for the Tracy Lynn Fashion Jewelry Company. And it was my first time speaking for a direct selling company in front of thousands of people. I had no idea that 13 years before that I was being exposed to what was going to become my reality. And so what I want you to understand is this: a lot of times the reason why we don't go higher is because we never allow ourselves to get exposed to what our next level is. And so what I want you to realize is that oftentimes you got to see it in order for you to be it. So you got to see it before you can actually be it. And so what I want you to know is that it's so important that you expose yourself to your next level, that you're able to actually see it. And so I want you to understand this. You've got to see it. You've got to see it. And part of you seeing what's going to become your next reality is you've got to be willing to put yourself in those environments where you're going to be exposed to what your next level looks like. And so I want you to do me a favor right now. In the comment section, put hashtag see it, hashtag see it. Because whatever your next level is going to be, whether you envision yourself being on television, get yourself in an environment where someone's recording a live television show or a sitcom. You need to be able to see it. Whether you see yourself speaking in front of thousands of people, put yourself in an environment where someone's speaking in front of thousands of people. You need to be able to see it so it can become your reality. Whether or not you intend of building a multi-million-dollar business, get around somebody who has a multi-million-dollar business, because you got to see it before it's going to become your reality. Whether you want to have a happy, fulfilling relationship, you want to get in the presence of somebody who has a happy, fulfilling relationship, because you got to see it before you can be it. A lot of times the reason why we don't make things happen is because of this. We literally have never seen it. And so it's hard for you to accomplish. It's hard for you to realize something that you've never seen for yourself. It's hard for you to manifest. It's hard for you to level up to a level in which you've never even been exposed to. And so I want you to understand this. It's like, I didn't know how it was going to happen. I didn't know how it was going to happen. And I want you to get this. One of my mentors told me a long time ago, Andy, how is none of your business? Right now, some of you are spinning your wheels. You're saying, Andy, you're telling me to level up. You're telling me to go higher. But the reason why I haven't gone higher is because of the fact that I don't know if higher is a possibility. But the reason why you don't know if higher is a possibility, because you have not seen it. You have not seen it for yourself. And so I subscribe to a book that says, eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor has entered into the hearts of man the things that God has in store for you. And that's just straight up. So you can't even begin to imagine what the possibilities are for yourself. And so you can't even make it become a reality unless you put yourself in an environment where you can first see it for yourself. And so all I'm saying to you is don't ask yourself how it's going to happen. All I'm saying is expose yourself so that you can see what your next level is going to look like. Now, did I say you need to know how you're going to make your next level become a reality? I didn't say that. I said you just need to be able to see it, because before you can be it, you need to be able to see it. And so you got to expose yourself to the next level. You've got to expose yourself to the next level. You got to expose yourself to wherever it is that you're trying to go. Understand that part of going higher is being able to see it. You've got to be able to see it before you can actually be it. And so I started off by telling you this. It was so crazy. My wife and I were in this airplane, and it was crazy the amount of turbulence that we were experiencing. And to go, how can we go from that level of turbulence to all of a sudden now we are at cruising altitude? All of a sudden now we're seeing views that we couldn't even imagine for ourselves. All of a sudden we're taking in these breathtaking views. We're seeing things from a perspective that people would never be able to see from a commercial aircraft. And we are looking at things, and we had the most amazing experience. But I learned an important lesson, that oftentimes the turbulence that you're experiencing in your life is a result of you operating and you flying at a level that is below the level that you were designed to fly at. It is below the level that you were designed to operate your business at. It was below the level that you were designed to be having your relationship at. And so what you have to learn how to do is to go higher. Listen, if you were sitting in front of me right now, I would tell you, say, go higher, go higher. As a matter of fact, do me a favor again, put hashtag go higher, hashtag go higher, hashtag go higher. Like if you're making a commitment to go higher in your finances, go higher in your relationship, go higher in your fitness, go higher in your business, do me a favor and put hashtag go higher. That's your way of letting me know that you're making a commitment to go higher. And not only that, do me a favor, go ahead and hit the share button, because I know that there's somebody that you're connected to Here's what their solution is to the problem that they're experiencing right now. Here's what their solution is. Somebody that you know is in the pursuit of their goals and their dreams. Somebody that you know is in the pursuit of trying to make something become a reality. And they're experiencing some turbulence. They're experiencing some frustration. Things aren't happening for them the way that they would like for it to happen. And you know what their solution is? You know what they're saying to themselves? Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring my goals down. I'm going to bring my vision down. Maybe I'm thinking too much. Maybe my goals are too much. Maybe I shouldn't be going after a government contract that's this size. Maybe I shouldn't be trying to get my business up to this size. Maybe I shouldn't be trying to get clients at this level. Maybe I shouldn't try to write the book. Maybe I shouldn't be in this kind of fulfilling, happy relationship. And so what they're thinking is they're starting to think that they got to shrink, right? But here's what I want you to know. They're starting to lower their expectations. But what I want you to understand is this. Nobody rises to low expectations. So lowering your expectations is not going to help you to rise, because we don't rise to low expectations. We only rise as a result of increasing our expectations. Listen carefully. We don't rise from lowering our expectations. We only rise as a result of increasing our expectations. We only rise as a result of leveling up, baby. Do you hear me? And so right now, it's time to level up, straight up. Like, I just had an event, my Master Storyteller Academy, and I got some people. We were having a conversation over those 3 days, and the conversation is you got to level up. Like, your next level, like everything that you're wanting to make happen, it's not at this level. This level right here, the reason why you're feeling discontentment, this level right here, the reason why you're feeling frustration, this level right here, the reason why you're not producing the results that you want is because you weren't even designed for this level. Like, you were designed for the next level. Like, it's time to level up. Like, you got to fly above the turbulence. You got to fly above the limited expectations. You got to fly above everything that you're experiencing right now. And so you got to raise your expectations so that you can raise your altitude, so that ultimately you are flying above the turbulence and you could be at the level. Listen, when's the last time you were walking down the street and just looking around and looking down and you spotted an eagle? You won't spot an eagle on the ground. You will never, ever just be walking around and look down on the ground and see an eagle. You may see a pigeon down there. You may see any other bird down there, but you won't see an eagle down there. The reason why you won't see an eagle down there is because the eagle doesn't operate at that level. You're only going to catch an eagle up in the air at very high altitudes, because the eagle is very clear. If I come down at this level, this is not my dominion. This is not the place that I need to operate at. The eagle is very clear that where I suit best, where I soar, where I'm able to eat at the top of the food chain, where I end up being the top bird in the food chain, is because of the fact that I understand where I need to be. It's because of the fact that I understand the importance of leveling up, and I understand that you got to go higher. And so what I want you to understand is that this is the time right now. This is the time to level up, straight up. Like, I'm telling you right now, level up. Like, that was the theme. Like, we just came off this crazy Master Storyteller Academy where people's stories were transformed at my training. We did the Master Storyteller Academy. But I tell you, on top of people developing their stories and taking their stories to the next level, the thing that I love was to watch people level up. Like, watch people take their lives to the next level. Watch people stretch themselves. Watch people get uncomfortable. Watch people begin to paint bigger vision for themselves and bigger visions for their lives. And so I don't know where you are right now, but I tell you this, if you're experiencing any level of frustration, if you're at a place right now where you're saying, man, there's got to be more than this. If you're working at a job right now and you're saying, man, this job is not fulfilling, it's not doing what I thought it was going to do. If right now you're at a place in your company or you're at a place in with your business and the revenue is not looking the way it needs to look, don't shrink your goals. Don't start lowering your expectations. Nah, baby, it's time to level up. It's time to literally say, okay, I need to go higher. How do I stretch myself? How do I get around some people that are going to make me grow, that are going to help me to get to my next level? Like, how do I put myself in an environment that's going to make me uncomfortable? How do I find somebody that's going to help me to paint a bigger vision? Like, listen, like Albert Einstein said, the thinking that you know so far has literally gotten you to where you are right now. And so right, what it means is that if you want to get to the next level, you're going to have to change your thinking. You got to change your environment. You're going to have to change your expectations, and you're going to have to change everything going on around you. And part of that is you understanding that you got to level up and that you got to be willing to go higher. You hear me? Your next stop, listen, if you say, Andy, where's my next destination? Where's my next stop? You know where your next stop is? Higher. If you say, Andy, I'm on the elevator, man, it's already uncomfortable on the 7th floor. You know what I'm going to tell you to do? Go to the 14th floor. You think it's uncomfortable here, but actually when you get to the 14th floor, you're going to get a little more comfortable. You say, well, I'm already uncomfortable on the 7th floor. How could I be more comfortable on the 14th floor? Because you were never designed to just be on the 14th, on the 7th floor. You were designed to go to the next level. Listen, when we were in that aircraft, my wife and I, we were experiencing all that turbulence and we couldn't understand. We were like holding ourselves in the aircraft like, whoa, wait a second here. The reason why we were experiencing all that turbulence is because we were flying at an altitude that we had no business flying at. We just needed to go through that altitude so that we could get to the level that we need to be at. And once we got to that level, everything changed. Once we got to that level, the view changed. Once we got to the level, everything got more comfortable. Once we got to the level, all of a sudden, the trip became so much more enjoyable. And so what I'm saying to you right now, it's time to go higher. It's time to level up. And the reason why you're experiencing frustration is because this level that you're at right now, this is not where you're supposed to be. And so what I'm saying to you is go higher. Go higher, go higher, and go higher. And don't worry about who's coming with you. Don't worry about how you're going to figure it out. Don't worry if, yes, and let me say this. I'm not going to lie to you. When you go higher, it will be uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable when we were in that aircraft and we were getting through that turbulence. It was uncomfortable. I'm going to tell you something. When you go higher, it is uncomfortable at first. You got to get comfortable with the new view because you're used to seeing things at a certain level. And now when you get higher, all of a sudden, the things that you're looking at it from a different perspective. And so that's a little uncomfortable. But do you know what happens eventually? You get comfortable with the new view. You get comfortable with the new altitude. And all of a sudden now, things begin to change. And so I don't know where you are right now in your life, but I'm telling you this. Any area in your life that you're experiencing frustration, the frustration is a result of the fact that it's time for you to go higher. You say, but Andy, that doesn't make any sense. I don't feel comfortable at this level. And you're telling me to go higher? Yes, go higher. The reason why you're uncomfortable at this level is not because you don't have the skills. It's not because you don't know what you're doing. It's not because you're not good enough for this level. It's just because you are meant to go to another level. And once you get to that another level, that's when you're going to feel at home. Because you're going to realize, whoa, I got some things to figure out here, but this is home. This is where I was meant to be. And so what I'm saying to you, go higher, go higher, go higher, go higher. Hey, do me a favor, because I know that there's somebody you're connected to. They need to hear this message. Go ahead and hit the share button. Hit the share button because they really need to hear this message. And so hopefully that gave you a little insight, because if you've been feeling some frustration, if you've been trying to figure out why things aren't working for you, I've got the solution that you probably have never even thought of for yourself. The solution is it's time for you to go higher. It's time for you to go to your next level. You've done what you needed to do at this level. It's time to level up. It's time to go higher. So do me a favor one more time in the comment section, put hashtag level up, hashtag level up, hashtag level up. Like, I think that that's this year's theme is level up. For me, it's like, you know, I forgot what my theme was at the beginning of the year, but now I'm very clear. It's leveling up. I'm going to level up, and everybody who is part of my crew, everybody who comes within my vicinity, everybody who decides to be part of my tribe, we go level up, and we all go level up together, okay? When it's a high tide, all of the ships in the harbor rise. No, it doesn't count. One of us, we got to get rid of that seesaw mentality. Like, somebody needs to go up while somebody else goes down. Like, that seesaw mentality, it's not required. Like, we can all level up together. Like, you don't have to go down for somebody else to go up. We all go up. When there's a high tide, all the ships in the harbor go up. So no more seesaw mentality. We all leveling up. Everybody level up. Yes, Sheila, level up, level up, level up. That's right. Yes, Christine, level up. Yes, Kino, that's what I'm talking about, level up. Yes, Janelle, level up. Everybody level up. That's what I'm talking about. Level up, level up, level up. Like, no more making excuses. No more coming up with bogus reasons and reasons why we're not doing the things that we got to do. Just level up. Is it going to be uncomfortable? Yes. But are you already uncomfortable with just going through the motions? Just going through the motions is uncomfortable. Being frustrated is uncomfortable. Not producing the results that you want is uncomfortable. Showing up to a job every day that you know is not what you were intended to do is uncomfortable. Working really hard and putting in the time and the effort and not getting the return on your time and the return on the investment that you want is uncomfortable. All those things are uncomfortable, right? Not fulfilling your purpose in your calling is uncomfortable. All of those things are uncomfortable. So what I'm saying is if you're going to be uncomfortable, then you might as well be uncomfortable for a reason. You might as well be uncomfortable on the climb, not on the descension. Like, who wants to be uncomfortable going down? Like, I want to be uncomfortable, but if I'm going to be uncomfortable, let's go up, baby. That means more clients, bigger business, better relationships, better things going on. Let's be uncomfortable, but let's produce increase. Let's produce more fruit. Let's produce more impact. Let's serve at a higher level, and let's make some great things happen. And so let me tell you right now, the only reason why you're hearing this message is because it is time for you to level up. I only speak to people who are my assignment. The only reason why you're hearing my voice right now, you're part of my assignment. The only reason why you're hearing this message is because you were ready for this message. The only reason why I'm telling you to go higher is because it's time for you to go higher. The only reason why you're feeling any level of frustration where you are right now is because there's another level that is waiting for you. It's waiting for you to arrive, and all you got to be willing to do is get uncomfortable and level up. All you got to do is get uncomfortable and go higher. And so I just want to thank you for tuning in. And let me just say this. It's been amazing past couple of days. I had my Master Storyteller Academy on, what was that, June 14, 15, and 16 in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I had the most amazing entrepreneurs, speakers, and coaches fly into South Florida. And we spent 3 days helping them develop their signature story so that they can leverage their stories so that they can make more impact and ultimately make more income in their business. These are the stories that they're going to be using when they're doing their Facebook Lives, when they're doing their webinars, when they're doing their teleseminars, when they're getting in front of their live audiences. These are the stories that they're going to use to be able to connect with people so that ultimately they can convert them to raving fans, customers, and clients. These are the stories that they leverage so that they can ultimately be able to have more influence. And so that training was off the charts. The transformation that took place was ridiculous. And so if for some reason you miss the MSA, like you miss the Master Storyteller Academy, I'm telling you right now, we just opened up enrollment for September. I have some people who are tuning in right now who were just at that academy. Darian Hill, Janelle Montgomery, who else we got on here? Sheila Blackman. We got some people, Lewis Morier. There are people who had just come from the Master Storyteller Academy. Like, don't take my word for them. Ask them what that training was like. Ask them what took place at that training. Ask them about the impact that was made. Ask them about the transformation. Like, don't take my word for it. But what I know is this. I believe that opportunity, sometimes it goes away, but it will represent itself. And I know that there are some of you who are tuning in right now and you know you're ready to level up. You know that you got a story in you. You know that you need to be able to share that story so that you can make more impact, so that ultimately you can make more income, so that you can attract more paying customers and clients. If that's you, you do not want to miss the next Master Storyteller Academy. I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you, if the next Master Storyteller Academy is just a fraction of what this past academy is, it is going to be off the charts. And so here's what I want you to do. The next academy is going to be September 13, 14, 15. And my birthday is September 16th. So it just shows you how committed and how much I love the academy that I would plan the academy the 3 days leading up to my birthday. My birthday is September 16th. And we're doing the academy September 13, 14, and 15. So I'm spending the 3 days before my birthday at the academy. That's how much I love it. That's how much I love the impact that we make. So all you got to do is this. Just visit masterstorytelleracademy.com. Listen carefully. All you're going to do is you're going to visit masterstorytelleracademy.com. Masterstorytelleracademy.com. You're going to go there. It's really, really simple. You're going to just go ahead and fill out the very quick, simple application. And once you fill out that quick application, somebody from my team will get on the phone with you and give you all the information that you need, so that you'll be able to make a decision as to whether or not this academy is for you. And so there's no obligation for you to apply, but I would say only apply if you're serious. Like if you're not serious about personal development, if you're not serious about developing your message, if you're not serious about taking things to the next level, then don't apply. But if you are serious, then you want to go to masterstorytelleracademy.com, masterstorytelleracademy.com. Like it's going to be ridiculous. Like I just opened enrollment, literally just opened enrollment today. And we already have 3 people who've registered for the September Master Storyteller Academy. And I keep these trainings small and intimate. So that means that registration, just like it did last time, will be sold out and we're going to cap off. So if you missed the last Master Storyteller Academy, listen, don't let it happen again. You better be there so we can work on that story. We can position you to be able to leverage that story. So like I said, if you look in the feed, you'll see Darian Hill. You see the person that says government contractor coach. That is the one and the only Sheila Blackman. Listen, if you are a small business owner, I'm sorry, let me correct that. Not if you're a small business owner. If you are a successful business owner and you want to be able to scale up your business by being able to land and secure government contracts, I want you to make sure that you connect with Sheila Blackman. You'll see her. She's in the feed. It says government contractor coach, government contractor coach. If you're a successful business owner and you want to know how to land 6-figure and 7-figure government contracts, you want to make sure that you connect with Sheila. She's in the feed, government contractor coach. Sheila is part of my mastermind. She's absolutely amazing, and you want to make sure that you connect with her. Also, there's a gentleman in the feed. His name is Darian Hill. If you have a business, if you have a platform, and you're looking to elevate your brand and your business through social media, you want to learn how to be able to market yourself on social media, how to run social media traffic, how to run social media ads, how to build out campaigns, you want to make sure that you connect with Darian Hill, who's also in there. Darian was just at my Master Storyteller Academy. Amazing guy, will really be able to help you take things to the next level. And while you connect with them, make sure you talk to them and ask them what their experience was like at the Master Storyteller Academy. I bet you will be making sure that you sign up right away for the September Academy. Okay, so I can't wait for those of you who are going to be joining me. Once again, you're going to visit masterstorytelleracademy.com, Master Storyteller Academy. Make sure you fill out the application. But listen, folks, I want to thank you for tuning in for the Thursday night Show Up for Your Life motivational live stream. I thank you all for joining in. And remember what I told you, you got to go higher. It's time to level up. I'm telling you, it's time to level up. Like, you have no idea. This is your season. And when it's your season, you got to make sure that you maximize the season, that you get everything out of this season. Like, this is your season right now. You know, I've been listening to that song. This is my season for grace, for favor, right? This is your season. There comes a time when you've been sowing seeds, and then it's your season. Now, when it's your season, though, you gotta eat while the crop is good, right? You gotta go ahead and take advantage of the fact that it's your season. All right, you gotta go higher, increase your goals, increase your vision, increase your expectations, serve more people, make more impact, and find ways to make your mark. And I believe it's your season, but you got to be willing to put in the work. And for those of you who want to be able to work on your story, work on your message, listen, you want to go to Master Storyteller Academy. Who is it for? For successful entrepreneurs, speakers, and coaches. You are already having success. You're already doing great things, and you're ready to level up. Like, you're like, Andy, I'm doing great, but I know I could do even better. And if that's you, you want to be at my Master Storyteller Academy. It's time to level up. Join me at the Academy. We'll work on that story so that you can connect with more people and make great things happen. And so listen, everybody, I want to thank you so much. I appreciate you tuning in for the Thursday night Show Up for Your Life motivational live stream. Hey, as you chime out, do me a favor, hit the share button. Once you hit the share button, do me a favor. In the comment section, put hashtag shared, hashtag shared. That's going to be your way of letting me know that you shared the love, and you shared this message with somebody else. So put hashtag shared. That lets me know that you shared this message. And so hopefully somebody who's a part of your tribe will hear a part of this message. They don't even need to hear the whole message. All they got to hear is just a little part of the message that maybe tells them to go higher, a little part of the message that tells them to level up, a little part of the message that tells them that you got to see it before you can be it, a little part of the message that tells them that they got to be exposed to their next level before they can actually accomplish their next level. Whatever level, whatever part of the message they hear, it'll be just exactly what they needed to hear. And so let me tell you right now, I appreciate you guys so much. I thank you so much for tuning in, for joining me. I do this. This is part of my ministry right here. This is part of me giving back. And I'm glad when I can bring a message, something that resonates with you and something that you can apply and put into your life. That's going to help you to get to that next level. So thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you share this message. Everybody have a good evening. God bless. I'll talk to you soon. Lewis.